In this video, I'm going to give you 3 qualities in great Christian guys that sometimes go overlooked by Christian women who would like to be married. Hey everyone, I'm Mark from ApplyGodsWord.com, a place where we apply the Bible to your life. So in this video, I'm not going to go through an extensive list of everything a great Christian husband will have. If you're a Christian woman out there looking for a potential spouse and you're trying to gauge if a guy is someone worth looking into, worth dating and taking the next step with, there's a lot of different qualities that you should look for. And certainly a lot of them are going to be subjective to the things that you personally care about. I have another video that I talk about the 3 most important qualities in a Christian spouse that you should look for, a man or a woman. So the real quick summary of that video is A, they need to be a believer. B, they need to be bearing fruit and showing the evidence of their faith in Jesus Christ. And C, they need to be mature enough to be able to fulfill the biblical requirements of a husband or a wife. If someone meets those basic requirements, I think you should at least give them a chance. So in this video, I'm gonna take it a step further and specifically talk about Christian guys. And I want to talk about 3 qualities that get overlooked, that are really important if you want a good husband and you're looking to gauge like what makes a good man, who should I give a chance to. These 3 qualities are often undervalued. Number 1, a strong work ethic. A lot of times, guys nowadays have been raised in such a way where desire, passions, and dreams are sometimes elevated over going to work every day. And I'm not here to say don't follow your dreams or don't follow your passions, don't worry about the things that you really enjoy doing, but I'm just here to say that for men and women in our culture, but I'm talking about men right now, there's an underemphasis on the value of just going to work every day. Even if you don't love your job and you just go, you wake up, you go make the money, that's a strong quality that is missing in a lot of guys these days. So if you see a guy who just faithfully goes to work, does his job, just shows up on time and doesn't complain about it, that's becoming a very rare quality in a man. And when you get married, you're going to want a guy who has a strong work ethic. It might not seem so sexy right now just to see, your boyfriend or one of your guy friends just waking up and going to work and not complaining about it. But if you get married to a guy and you have a little family, the life's just going on, bills are piling up, mortgages are coming in, you're gonna be so grateful for your husband's willingness to take care of the finances. And I'm not saying it's the man's sole responsibility to worry about the finances. I think it's really important for a woman to have a strong work ethic too. But again, a lot of guys these days struggle in this area. And I would even say sometimes in the church and definitely in our culture, it's almost like a negative if a guy isn't, quitting his boring job to go pursue his, fantasies and dreams about what he wants to do. And so, I think, why can't you do both? Why can't you just faithfully go to work, make money because that's the way God's allowing you to make money right now, even if you don't love that job, and try to write your book on the side, try to play in the band on the side, do the ministry at church on the side, and take care of business at work. So, number 1, if a guy has a strong work ethic, you might want to give him a chance. Number 2, a good listener. So I think it's natural for a lot of Christian women to notice the extroverted guy a little bit sooner at church. I think it's a little bit more common for Christian women to be attracted to that guy who's really expressive, charismatic maybe, and can just kind of articulate his passion for Christ, is a really good talker, and is just very social and enjoys that atmosphere. When you see a single guy like that who loves the Lord, I get it. There's nothing wrong with liking somebody like that. But here's what I do have to say. I think that type of guy is a lot harder to find. And I think that there's a lot more Christian men who are good listeners. I think there's going to be less Christian men who are really good at being expressive. There's going to be more good Christian men who are excellent listeners. And I remember early on in my marriage with Bethany, I definitely made the mistake of not valuing the importance of listening to her. She would start telling me about a problem she was having or some sort of difficulty she was going through, and I didn't do a good enough job of just not talking and just letting her talk about what was going on in her life. I was instantly starting to think of what she could do better, how she could fix this problem that she was telling me about, and she would get frustrated with me, and for a while I just didn't get it. I'm like, I'm just trying to help. Like, why would you tell me about this if you didn't want me to give you a solution, you know? And what I learned is, and what she taught me is that she didn't need me to fix it. She just needed me to listen. She just wanted to know that I understood how she was feeling. And there's a lot of Christian guys who are good listeners. There might be like the strong silent type, and if you give them a chance to realize that actually, you know, even though this guy doesn't talk that much and he's not really expressive, he's paying attention to what I'm saying. He cares about how I feel. And so you might be attracted to the man who talks a lot, but you might just fall in love with a man if you give him the opportunity to listen. Number 3, kindness. You know, I think there's been an overreaction in the church based upon the passivity that I think a few generations were struggling with. And now in the church, there's almost an overreaction to like the nice guy. And it's almost like frowned upon if you're not like this overtly masculine guy who, you know, doesn't come across as the nice Christian. While no woman wants a passive man, nice and kind doesn't equal passive. And I think we need to start valuing the nice guy again, and seeing that just because he comes across as really kind and really considerate, it doesn't mean he's not also strong. So the nice guy may not, you know, show off and may not like be the sexy single guy that you instantly notice. But if you end up marrying a guy who has a lot of kindness, you're going to value him so much in marriage, because things get difficult in marriage. You know, if you're having this intense argument or you're just dealing with a real hard problem, you're gonna really value a guy who is kind to you no matter what's going on. Even if you're acting a little bit crazy, both of your emotions are really high, and he is being kind in those moments, you're gonna really value that type of man. As we all know, this world is cold and hard, and when you get home, you don't want to deal with a cold, hard man. So if a guy is warm, tender-hearted, and a nice person, you really should give him a chance and get to know him a little bit. If you have to sacrifice a few points on the sexy scale to get a guy who has a few higher points on the nice scale, I think that's a trade-off worth having. I'm not saying that physical attraction isn't important. I have a whole nother video that I can link to in the description of this video about the importance of physical attraction in Christian relationships. But we don't want to overemphasize the appearance and underemphasize the kindness of a man. So I really do believe that Christian women in general are going to have a harder time finding a great Christian guy, because I do genuinely think there are less Christian men than there are Christian women. But I don't think there are no guys out there. I think there are less, but I do think there are some good guys out there. And sometimes it helps to start focusing on what a guy does have going for him rather than focusing so much on what he doesn't have. Well, if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, I would love for you to do so. We're making new videos every week. We talk a lot about relationships, singleness, and really how to glorify God in every area of your life. So if that's something you're interested in, you're definitely going to want to hit that subscribe button and join this growing community on YouTube. Well, again, I'm Mark, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.